over. You're on your side.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like we can all hear everyone.
Yeah.
So great.
First,
Yeah. Okay. Let's get started now. All
Aaron's
right.
going forward. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for all of your patience, and now we can get started now. So, first things first, how many of you had a chance to watch Eric's video today?
I did.
Yay, awesome. Okay, everyone did. Great. Then the first question I'll ask is, how is the burger zone? I saw it on the Facebook group that some of you went for your lovely burgers, and some of you also did something else. So why don't I start with Frank? Did you get a burger?
Yes. I got the burger and the fries.
Nice.
And some dim sum. So,
oh, okay, great. Okay. Cindy's back in on Zoom now. All right. Yay. So was it an upgrade that it worked?
Yeah, I think so. But it was strange. I just used it today.
Yes. Oh, the reason why, Cindy, is because I have the upgrade. And it could be because previously you connected with your previous Zoom. The person did not upgrade either. So that's, I suspect a compatibility issue. But anyway, I'm glad we all sorted.
You look very, very small. Thinner.
Did you lose weight, Cindy? You already lost weight.
Oh, it's the backpack.
Oh.
Okay, sorry, I shut up.
No worries. Okay, let's go back to Frank about the burger experience. I want to hear all about it. So, Frank, you have fries and burgers.
Yes. Well, so originally I'm not planning to have it. So I'm supposed to go out and buy some eggs and some veggies to make my appetizer. But on the way, I said, like, since I cannot eat burger anymore starting tomorrow, might as well have a burger today. So I did go to have that burger. Yeah, so it was good in the beginning. But toward the end, it's like, okay, I started realizing that I might not be liking it that much. I like it the first few bites. After a while, like, okay, I just have to finish it because of the discipline of finishing my food. So yeah, but it's a good burger still.
Okay, Frank, I want to ask you this. 3-4 weeks ago, before you started WildFit, would you have noticed the burger that didn't taste as good as it is now?
No. So this is something like you don't think about it when you eat stuff. I think like I never think about it before I start WildFit. So this is something new to me to start noticing how I feel about the food. So what I really feel yesterday is I do have this habit, like once after a while, I will just go on like completing the mission, finishing the food, as was being, drilled into the discipline when I was young, like, okay, finish the food, regardless of whether you like it or not. So that's what happened. But the first few things, like, I was anticipating the burger. I said, okay, this is something very good. I did find it tasty, the first few bites, like, but after a while, it's just like finishing the mission. So yeah, I found it interesting to have that sort of observation, like which I didn't do before. Yeah,
that's fantastic. So congratulations, that is progress.
Real progress.
Absolutely, because before WildFit, you just mentioned it. You weren't noticing before, and you actually very often your strategy has always been like just finish the food because you've been conditioned to do so as when you were young, and just like 3-4 weeks into the WildFit program, since Kim and I keep drilling you and Eric keep drilling you on like asking the questions like how do you feel about eating, like why are you eating that food and what makes you and how does it feel after you make that food, you eat that food. It's helping you to be more conscious and be more mindful about the way that you eat. So would you say that now your relationship with burger has slightly changed a little bit?
Well, I think I still like it. Just I realize I probably don't like it that much. So maybe next time I order half a burger.
There you go. So we've only been, this is only the week 4 of WildFit, right? And I'm really happy to see that your relationship with burger has already changed slightly. Well, not completely yet. Well, fair enough. We're not even halfway through the program, but I want you to notice, all of you to realize this, that our relationship with food is starting to shift a little here because of all these mindfulness work that we're doing. So I'm really glad to hear that you find the burger is actually not as tasty as you thought it would be. Yeah, the first few bites, and then later on, just like meh. It is what it is, right? It happens to me. It happens to Kim. It happens to a lot of us, especially the ones who have gone through WildFit. So that's great. How about since you had the fries as well? How did you notice how you felt 30 minutes or an hour later after you had that meal?
Yeah, so I went shopping for that food afterwards. So I didn't notice it too much because I was like outside moving around. Yeah, so I didn't notice it too much on that part.
Fair enough. Yeah,
So, yeah.
it is. It is hard. It will be harder to tell if you're on the move after you had that meal because your body, your mind's been distracted, especially you're shopping. Because when we're shopping, we have to make decisions on what to buy, and so then our focus we're gone to the decision making process of what to buy. And yeah, it happens, but it's good to know that you know that at least that you are aware that, oh, I didn't get a chance to see through it because I was doing something else. Yeah, see in the future if you may have a chance to do this again. Probably not like anytime soon, but in the future, you know, like you have this exercise again comes up, then you can like ask yourself again, notice like, oh, half an hour later, maybe an hour later, like how does my body feel? That feeling, that sensation of your body is actually telling you something, giving you a signal about the food that you're putting in. How does the body react to it, right? So nicely, that really glad to hear it. Any other things happen during your buffer zone related to?
Yeah, well, I decided I just now to just skip the breakfast because I realized I cannot finish it. So like after I drink the alkalizer, eat the fruit, like, you know, once I finish the food, it's almost noon. So might as well just, now I don't even prepare for the breakfast, so I just eat the fruit and the alkalizer.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay. Yeah, a lot of us skip our breakfast usually around this time of the program as well. So doing exactly right. Okay, what about today? It's the first day that some of those carbohydrate sugars are being taken away, right? How was your experience?
It was okay because I stopped eating carbohydrates for a while already. I mean, on the work days, so usually I have my cheat days on weekends, so on like Sunday. So like normally I don't eat carbohydrate anyway during the weekdays, so it's not much changes. Yeah.
Okay, so when did you used to eat carbohydrates? And if it's not during the week, is it weekends or?
So yeah, during weekends, like usually one day on weekends, so like Sunday, or usually sometimes I also cheat on Saturday. So I always eat whatever. That was my procedures. Yeah.
I see. Oh yeah, I remember in the last call you mentioned that you have like a cheat day, right? In your previous diet. Okay.
Exactly.
Interesting. I guess we can also explore more on that concept of a cheat day later on. But okay, so that means your challenge of carbohydrates being taken away, it's not probably kicking in until your next cheat day comes, which is like your weekends, right? Since this weekend you're eating your burger. Okay, so I'll make a note of that and ask you about it next weekend or like next Monday's call. All right. Any other observation or thoughts that you want to share with us?
No, not much. I think this week, I think the change is not too big for me, so it looks fine.
Yeah, good to know. And I see your participation in the Facebook group this week, so thank you for joining in. So glad to have you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to Reggie then. How was your barber zone, Reggie?
Cool. I started cold turkey.
Nice. Okay.
Without bread, of course, in this case. No, but no, it wasn't too hard for me actually. Just like Frank, the carbohydrates already cut out. The only problem was the dairy, and I now had to give up my cheese blocks. And in moments of weakness or whatever you can call it, then I would chew on those. And and today the cheese man came in, so I have to disappoint. I'm not going to eat it, but So it was not that difficult, but it's more like a habit that you always, when something is going on and you're a bit peckish, and you grab a couple of cubes, and that's fine, and then it fills up again. But I can easily, I think, compensate with water or something else. Especially water is always helping for me. And sometimes I forget I have to take certain things like the Alkagizer, and then I think, oh yeah, you got the Alkagizer, and then you're so full with that stuff. It's so much of it. And it's not so terrible. The first one I ever had was that I thought, well, it's pretty bitter, but it sort of goes away. And the Alkagizer that you see that Kim makes on let's say on the spot, the little clip that she made for the page, then you can see there's a lot of spices in there. And a thing I saw that she didn't put in, but what we always put in basically is Tabasco.
Yeah.
And that's something hot actually, and that's really nice. That makes it, as long as there's no sugar in it, because they managed to even get sugar into Tabasco and they call it extra hot, but the only thing is sugar. So stupid. But I'm fine. I'm really fine. I feel before you ask me the next question if I got some other observations, I have an observation, and there were a couple of moments where I really totally drained my energy and felt terrible.
From what though? From what?
Nothing in particular. It was just even one time when I had the Alkagizers, and then I thought, "Whoa, man, this feels like they want to come out again." But I think it's just a reaction. It's like toxics want to get out, and I think something like that. And a slight headache, a little bit woozy, a little dizzy, and but not for a long time. It was especially when you start drinking water again, it sort of fades away at some point. But it was one day. I think it was the Saturday. I think we both didn't feel too energetic, I must say. But I was. It's nothing for me. I did a lot of things, but I could have done way more than that. So.
Okay. Well, sometimes that's really good observations there, Reggie. But sometimes when our body is not feeling great, it's good to have self-care and just take it easy. And it's okay. It's just not doing much that day, and relax a little, because it does sound like your body is going through some sort of recovery mode. Perhaps it's like getting rid of like toxins and stuff that the body doesn't need anymore. So your body is actually doing a lot of work at that time. That could be one reason to explain why the body is you feeling tired, because the body is actually working hard internally. So that's all good signs. And you mentioned it happened on Saturday, and today is Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, so from what I've heard from Eric and the WildFit community is the withdrawal symptoms usually last about 3 days. So you sound like you were at the tail end. So hopefully you are at the tail end of it, and then by tomorrow you're like, yes, feeling like much better.
This morning I told Kim while we were doing our 5K walk, and when we went up the first bridge, I said, I feel great, and compared to the last 2 days, I feel really great and energetic and rested as well. But that was very good. So I think my body is recovering, and together with I don't know if you have to mention those glasses there, but we did some. Yeah, I bought a couple of glasses. They're famous. They block out the blue light. That's what you got that thing on Apple telephones, the iPhones. Is the night shift thing on it, and what it does is that it filters out the blue light, so that if you're in the middle of the night, you're looking at your phone, you don't get more awake than you already are. So we did an experiment, and I got 2 of those glasses. They cover your eyes completely, and then even 1 hour before you think you go to sleep, you put those glasses on, and you can still do everything you want. You can watch television, read, and whatever, but your body thinks that there's no blue light, so they think, oh, we have to go to sleep soon.
Yeah.
So it starts already toning your energy down, and then the moment you think, I'm really going to fall asleep now, you just take the glasses off. Or yeah, you can keep them on. That's a bit silly. Take them off. Oh, Kim's going to demonstrate it now. Here's my lovely.
Right. Yeah.
We look really, really good. If anyone looked into the bedroom, they'd see Reggie and I in our orange glasses at night and just absolutely fall apart laughing, I'm sure.
Yeah. And this is actually a really good tip for all of us, especially for some of us who have trouble falling asleep easily. This is one strategy, because ideally, if we want to fall asleep easily without additional tools like the glasses that Reggie and Kim are using, is actually try to get off the screens 2 hours or 3 hours if you can before you go to sleep, because your body is trying to. Somebody was trying to say something. Is it?
Sorry. It's great because now you don't have to get away from your screen. You can stay on your screen, and you can feel that you want to go to sleep anyway, because it's not keeping you awake anymore. So you can still do everything you like, but you go away.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So this is one hack to go around it. And before these glasses were developed, one way that we can try to make ourselves fall asleep faster is just by not using screens 2 hours or 3 hours before sleep.
Guys have developed this thing. You know why they first used it? It's very strange, especially now with the Corona times. They use it for people on the IC where they got night shifts. So those people are completely out of their rhythm, and when they come out of their the duty they're doing, the shift they're doing, they go home and it's already light outside. Normally you can't sleep. So they put on those glasses, and then not while they're driving, of course, but when they're driving, they put the glasses on, and then they can fairly quickly fall asleep, and it's brilliant. And so the guys, there's very good promotion. They gave about 3,000 of the glasses to the ICs here in Holland, so it's a very good promotion. And but I thought it can cure a lot of problems. Especially when you're a bad sleeper. I'm a good sleeper, but Kim always used to have problems. But after WildFit, it's a lot better, and this even works better for her, I think.
That's great. So I think Reggie can be like a salesman for these glasses going forward. Doing such a good job about it.
I offer for hamburgers as well, but
what? Sorry? What about
burgers? But don't do it.
Oh, wait. So Reggie, you mentioned that you had moments, you call it moments like of weakness, where you miss your dairy, right? Your cheese cubes.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. Tell me what you missed about it.
In the past, I always thought, while I could eat them, it was like, I feel I got a little space for some food, and then just to sort of bridge that gap to go to the next to my meal, my dinner or something. Then I thought, I fill it up with some cheese, then it's fine. I don't feel hungry. But I think you're fooling yourself with those things, and so that's why I sort of try to figure, is it really a hungry feeling I'm having? So basically, my body, I don't know if it was a sugar devil talking to me, so you have to have some food, otherwise you won't get to the next meal. But then now I'm actually actively asking myself, is it really necessary? Do I need? Sometimes Kim says that at night. I say, I am going to dig into some pistachio nuts. Are you really hungry? I think, oh shit, I'm not really hungry. And then I put it away. The whole fun is gone already, so I don't.
All right. Then let me ask you this. If I'm really glad that you're having this conversation with yourself about the cheese cubes. Then if you don't think you were really that hungry, according to that conversation you had just now, so remember the 6 core hungers we did in the first 2 weeks? Which hunger do you think is calling you on this?
It's emotional.
Okay.
It's emotional, but I try to make it sort of rational by saying, I need some. I am hungry. But then if you're honest, you're not really hungry. It's probably the nice feeling, in the mouth feeling, the mouth sensation. It's nice and gooey, and it's soft, and it's velvety. But at the same time, if you think about it and you eat it, that worked for me when you know. Can I say that already about the pus in the cheese or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's in the video of Eric as well, the bonus video.
Oh yeah, how many have you watched the bonus dairy video?
I didn't see it completely.
Okay.
No, but I know from another documentary that there is even allowed by the government to have. Because the cows most of the times have mastitis or something with the others, and they get inflammations in. So the milk is always sort of mixed with inflammation. So you can talk about pus in your cheese, even in your cheese. The moment you start eating that again and you think about it, and if you do it a couple of times, I actually think I fool myself probably that I actually can taste the pus in it, or at least the consistency of the pus. It's ridiculous. Hey, as long as I
If
don't.
it works.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
Sure,
that-
but okay. I think now what I'm hearing is you still miss it, but somehow but somehow now you know how unhealthy these dairy product is, then you're telling yourself not to eat it.
Yeah,
So
but because it's both emotions, and the one is the emotion of, let's say you're going to something like a childhood memory or something.
yeah,
But it's, now I get sort of a memory of let's even a fictional
yes.
image.
So
of the
I'm
stuff.
curious to dig into more about that childhood memory, as since you mentioned it. Then what was your early childhood memories with dairy products, with cheese?
That's a combination of emotion and facts. In Holland, everything is about dairy, cheese, and especially milk. So they keep sort of brainwashing you all the time with it's so healthy, it's for your bones, you need this. There's all the stuff that you need for your body is in the cheese, in the dairy, stuff like yogurt, the rotted clotted milk, Eric mentions.
No,
That's
sure,
constantly.
but for you more specifically though, I'm curious to know.
So I hear those things all the time. Your teacher is telling you. So this people with authority, just like what Eric always mentioned, the man with the white coat, your teacher, your doctor, your parents, the neighbors, everybody tells you that it's healthy for you. So what do? You're not going to be obedient and think, oh, probably in 40, 50 years, a guy is going to tell me that it's all pasta that I'm eating. Of course not. I believe those people. And then by eating it, sort of, I think you make it always as pleasurable as possible for yourself. And I found out that if I just ate cheese on its own, it was not so nice. But when you put it on bread, if you put, for instance, like jam on it or something sweet or ketchup or something, then suddenly it's super nice. Like the popcorn with the sugar. This is based on cardboard. So I don't know if I'm honestly, the first times I ate cheese, if I really was so mad about it. I was crazy about it. I don't think so. But you learn to. That's why I say, oh, you have to develop your taste. That's another dead ringer always from people. No, it is nice, but you have to develop your taste. You're not used to it yet. And I'm not telling you it's not it's more like getting you hooked on it than that you're actually developing your flavor. I think that's the problem. And now I think of it, and I get another association. I get an association of disgust even when I think about it. And the fact that those cows are always being basically treated very badly.
Yes. So did you miss cheese at all this weekend?
No. Strangely enough, I didn't. I thought I would because it was a daily routine of mine to have at least, how much was it, Kim? I think I eat easily about 100 to 200 grams per day at least.
Yeah.
At least. I just shoved the whole cubes in my face, and they're nice. That's what I thought they were nice. It's a routine as well.
Okay. So thanks for sharing that. Maybe we'll ask you more about cheese on Friday again, because it sounded like it's only been 2 days. So, and I'm really curious to see your reaction to not having cheese for a few more days, and because I suspect that emotional association with cheese will probably come back. So if that's the case, let's dig into that more.
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen to you this weekend yet. So maybe later on. But really try to. But since you know that we will likely be asking you, try to like pay more attention to your thoughts around cheese in the next few days and share with us, like, you know, what is drawing you back into cheese again, for example, and also, you know, what are some really early memories? Yes, you mentioned that you were conditioned to it. Everyone surrounding you, the institutions that surrounding you, like schools and perhaps, I don't know, maybe family too, like it's all telling you, and also perhaps media as well, it's all telling you about cheese is great, right? So, but then that's just the whole society. It's having that condition on you. But try to. Yes. So I'm curious to see if besides those conditions around you, any other like early memories of cheese that you may have?
I actually can't remember, but I think it has to do something with that, because I didn't think it was going to dig it into me so deeply, as because I thought I would have way more problems with the carbohydrates. I thought I'm really going to miss my croissant. That the whole wheat thing went completely to the back.
Yes.
I didn't think 1 second a piece of bread or a pea or a croissant or whatever, but it was more about the cheese.
Yes. So just have a few days to think about it. It may not come into mind right away, but the reason why I keep pressing all of you to ask yourself those questions is because I want you to have true freedom from all these foods. All the foods that you've been telling us, like in the first day, Kim and I asked you, what's some food that you will miss being taken away? And then as the program progresses, more and more of you have different kinds of food coming up. I see it. Sometimes I receive messages from people, or some of you will mention in the calls. To be honest with you, those foods are the foods that you are not having true freedom from it at the moment. That's why you're afraid they'll be taken away from you. And if it's true right now, some of you may think that, what do you mean? Like, no, I don't have a freedom from that food. Like, I can eat whatever I want. I can just go for it. Sure. But that's actually an illusion of having freedom of that food. Your sense of freedom there is you can choose what you want. But in the WildFit principles, true freedom means if that food is presented in front of you, you have a choice to not eat it. And a lot of us are on the progress to achieve that. And Kim and I really hope that by the end of this WildFit challenge, you will achieve true freedom from some of these foods, so that later on, after the 90 days challenge, Kim and I won't be there, keep asking you these questions. Like, we want you to, I'll speak for myself, I don't know about Kim, but I want you to be self-sufficient. I want you to understand. I want all of you to have a better understanding of your food after this program. Of course, Kim and I welcome you to come back and have coaching with us. We can make money from it, and then continue from it. But for me, I'll just speak for myself here. Kim can come in too. For me, is I want you to be able to sustain it after the 90 day, because a lot of things that we do here is not. Some of it could be maybe temporary for you, but some of it could be a true lifestyle change. And in order to really understand that lifestyle change is to really dig deep and ask yourself, what is it about this food that I'm so drawn to? Like I mentioned at one point in the call that we have this seafood diet, right? SEE-FOOD food diet. It happened to all of us. Like Frank just mentioned it. Like he walked by, he was on his way to go grocery shopping, and then he saw a burger joint and he went in. I don't know if he was thinking about getting the burger first or going to grocery. Actually, Frank, can you tell us? Were you just gonna go to the grocery store, but then you saw the burger, or what? Can you tell us here?
Well, I'm about to go to the grocery store, but it's along the way. It's on the way to the burger joint as well. So I was like, I might as well go there. Since I'm already out.
See, so a part of you still wants it, right? And it's okay. But I think for all of us, we want to understand more about why we want it, right? Because to be honest, if we walk past by all these different kinds of food, and every time we walk past by it, we definitely need to get it, then there is perhaps something we need to look into here. And for some of us, we don't even need to see the food. If we hear the food, we want it. Last call was like a great example, right? When Frank mentioned about the burger, and then Cindy was like, Shake Shack. That's like the first brand that pops in her mind, right? So like Frank said about burger inspires Cindy to want to eat the burger. So Cindy just demonstrated an example of a hear food diet, HEAR-FOOD. So isn't it interesting? It happens to all of us, but
I had one last thing to that. An experience of mine, another observation of myself, and it was with the diet Cokes. When it was a problem to me for a long time, when it kept talking, it talk to me. Now, if I go into supermarket, if I sit on a terrace, if I would sit on a terrace now, if I can, then it doesn't talk to me anymore. It doesn't say anymore. So I can still, if somebody puts, say, well, I only got Coke, the Diet Coke for you. Do you want to drink? I might drink it. I'm probably, but there's always water. So that's easy. You can always say, I want water. But the only thing I want now is that the cheese and other stuff like dairy stuff. Milk I don't drink for a long time already. Don't drink for it anymore, and so I don't want the cheese to talk to me anymore. And that's pretty difficult, I think, because there's so much around, and I think we always cave when there's pressure from the outside. And we like to go out and dine and have a dinner somewhere, but there's constantly danger there. You start off immediately with the bread. Now, we are that far that usually we refuse to get the bread. We said, please don't put the bread on the table. We're not going to eat it. Otherwise, you'll have to throw it away. That's how it starts. But then everything after that is difficult as well. They love to put cheese on everything. And I like it to be on everything. But then so you have to be strong, let's say, and say, no, I'm not eating that. It's not that I can't have it. I can have it, but I don't want it anymore. I think that's the situation I don't want to go to.
Thank you for bringing that up, Reggie. So I don't want you to like have to feel like I need to be strong and not having that food. I actually want you eventually to not even have to place a value judgment that am I weak or strong. It's eventually, as you said, like you don't want it anymore, right? But how do we get there? I think step by step. And I'm really happy to hear that at least you're willing to explore like your relationship with cheese there more. So we'll take it easy. You know, the next few days, like maybe on Friday, we'll check in with you again on that. But and talking about restaurants here. Yes, actually going forward, we have to learn how to be creative when we order food. So we'll talk more about that later on. But thank you for jumping in there. Kim, anything to add about earlier what I was saying that I want people to be self-sufficient, or do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it beautifully, Wendy. Yeah, it's just so much about getting to the point where you're not struggling with yourself anymore. I mean, it's quite funny when I go to the supermarket with Reggie's going, oh, look at that. And I'm like, no, I don't even look at the foods, not because I'm deliberately trying to avoid them. They're just not food anymore. So I'm just not even looking in that direction. There's no internal fight going on or nothing like that. There's nothing tempting me in that direction. And that's what, as Wendy said, it's what we want for all of you. And I'm quite sure that the work that you guys are putting in now, I think it's going to reap dividends at the end. It's Thank you.
Absolutely. So Kim and I both want you to be self-sufficient, because I'm not in a business where I'm coaching you to a way that you are not self-sufficient, that you have to like keep coming back to me later on about things. Like, I mean, I welcome you to do that. But at the same time, I want, like, that's not really what my goal is. Because honestly, that would be very profitable for me to like keep having you coming back to me as a maintaining that relationship. But I'm not interested in that kind of business. I'm more interested in making you self-sufficient and to a point that you're very comfortable, and perhaps you can tell your other friends about how great WildFit is. Like that kind of recommendation is much more I would prefer, rather than being, making you fail in this program, which most people don't. And not be able to achieve that awareness, at least, of where you stand with your food. Like ultimately it's all about your relationship with your food, and that's what we are exploring in these 90 days. Okay. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So Cindy, your turn now. And I know that you also went for a burger and fries with the cheese on top of it too. So tell us more. See, I just got excited, like he stood up. It's like, ooh, burger.
I purposely went to get that burger. It was on my to-do list the following day.
Okay.
Well, I mean the burger was good. The cheese fries was okay. Just the first few bites was good, but after that, it's very salty. Maybe the fries is not hot anymore. But I didn't pick any milkshake or anything, because I doubt their milkshake will have no sugar or natural. So I didn't. So that end. No ketchup on any of my food.
Awesome.
And then I make sure that I throughout the weekend, I go straight into the enhancement. I make sure I get all the food that I really want, so I get it out of the system. So like I was eating like noodles and stuff, but no sweet drinks or anything like that. So sugar is not a. I guess for me now, like sugar is not a big deal, except if it's really poisoning. That's the challenge that I have. But other than that, I don't crave for like sweet drinks or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. First, I
Yeah.
want to explore. So first of all, that's a great check-in, and I want to ask you more about. So you mentioned that the fries you had it in the beginning, maybe the first few bites, and afterwards it doesn't taste so good anymore, or not as good as you think it would be.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I asked Frank earlier the same question. 3-4 weeks ago, before you started WildFit, did you feel the same way about fries?
I actually didn't think about fries until Frank talked about burger, because burger will go with fries.
Sure, but my question is actually directly. It's actually more also about your experience with fries, not about when you want fries or not. It's before WildFit, before you started this program, when you had fries. Did you also notice that fries actually didn't taste as good as you think after a few bites?
I think this time will be more consciously know that it doesn't taste good anymore. Before it was just like, oh, it's food, I will just finish it. But this time around that, maybe the cheese was also running out on the top. So the fries itself doesn't taste that good anymore, and so like it keeps me thinking that, this food is not good, like in my head. And I'm more consciously, why am I still eating it? Before it would just be like, oh, it's just food, and I just keep eating it. Yeah.
All right. That's really good to hear. So
Fantastic.
yes, and it's similar to Frank here actually. Before that, you would just keep eating it because you feel like, oh, I'm not wasting food, perhaps, right? You have to like eat it, keep eating it. But then this time you mentioned that you have a bit more awareness and conscious about food, and it's making you more aware, right? So I'll ask you this too then. Do you feel that your relationship with fries has changed a little, perhaps?
Probably. I thought Shake Shack has onion ring, but they don't have. So like I was disappointed. So the cheese fries was.
We were talking about cheese fries. Why did onion rings suddenly come into the picture?
Because to me, I associate burger with school, like with my college days. We used to have this Burger King in Commons, and then I always get their burger and onion rings. So like it will associate college days. So like for me, I actually prefer burger with onion rings. So like so choice. But my second choice is I like thick fries. I don't like those skinny fries as well. So I guess it checks off the list, and then also have cheese. So the menu so just check off what I wanted this time. But in general, I don't usually go get fries. Yeah.
Okay. Then maybe it's not the best example here for you to see this change here. But even though I also want to congratulate you that there's progress there, at least that you're more aware of your relationship with fries. I think that's already a big step. But perhaps it's not the biggest example you see here, because it doesn't sound like you always get fries with the burger. It just so happens, it's not the right combination here.
But when I was eating the fries, I was thinking to myself that like this time it was bad. I didn't stop myself from eating. I could have, because it doesn't taste good. Then I was thinking to my head, how come they don't sell a smaller size of fries? Then it wouldn't be wasting food. Then I would got my 5 bites, right?
Well, because why would why would a restaurant want to make little money if they can make more money from you by feeding you more fries?
Yeah.
I don't, but I was thinking to myself then, well, I know, yeah, it's a consumer behavior, right? If I pay the same amount, I would prefer more volume. But I was consciously thinking, I was like, those are just extra food I don't really need. Like if
Yeah.
every eat that only takes 5 bites to realize it's not for us, then maybe they should just sell a food in 5 bites.
Yeah, guess who does that? Then that company's probably won't be in business for a long time, to be honest with you. As I mentioned in the beginning, that the food industry is after their profit, not really looking after our bodies and our nutrients, right? So,
Yeah.
Okay. And you also mentioned something very interesting there, is your conditioning, which you mentioned in college, you always have burger with onion rings. So then this time when you had the burger, it didn't have onion rings, you were disappointed. So
On the fries, right, just the side, but the burger was good. Actually, the burger was, this burger, this is only my second or third time eating from Shake Shack.
Wait, in the span of how long? What's the time period we're talking about here?
Oh, within the 5 years. I mean, I only tried Shake Shack like 2 years ago in New York, and then second time was in Hong Kong again. This is my third time eating it. I mean, I'm actually more happy with their burger because you see the fresh lettuce. The presentation wise, it does give me a good feeling that they use good ingredients. Well, it's quite expensive for that tiny burger too, but it just fits my philosophy before. How ironic! Then I wish the burger.
Cindy, I think you can be a salesman for Shake Shack here. Just like,
but the burger size was actually good. It was actually smaller than any other burger place, like McDonald's and stuff.
And how does that make you feel?
It's good. Actually, to the last bite, I thought the burger was good.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you noticed how your body feels 30 minutes after that meal?
I was that was a very big deal to me, compare like for the entire week, because we were learning how to let go of, if you're full, you should stop eating. I should have gave up on the fries, but I didn't. But I didn't finish the entire fries, but I should have gave up, a lot earlier, then I wouldn't feel as stuffed and like uncomfortable afterward. But then after that, I went to get a cup of coffee, and that was one on the list that I wanted to do. I want to make sure I get all I want with milk in it. And that was actually met up with my satisfaction. So this whole weekend was indulging on things that we're gonna cut out.
Okay. But did you get a chance to notice how does the burger, fries, and the coffee make you feel like an hour or 2 hours later after you had all that food?
It's very full, that it's almost to dinner time that I still feel very full. I have to go take a walk. Like I literally went out to walk around and to just like, it's the feeling, because when I continue to, move on to my dinner, almost to my dinner time, I purposely delayed it, and about dinner time, then I start to feel hungry. But right before that, I'm about to have dinner, I still have the feeling that I'm full. So like, I don't know if is my body really full, or I'm just very bloated kind of full.
Yeah.
So which is not.
I'll explain a little bit here. It's not the best way to experiment how the bodies react to the burgers and fries. It's because the coffee there. So usually when we have that much heavy like sugar carb heavy food, like burger, like the buns and then the fries, usually the body needs a lot of energy to deal with it, digest it, because this kind of food is not easy to digest. So usually, if we really pay a lot of attention to our body, we feel tired. Well, there's a bit of food coma going on there. But because you had a coffee, which is giving you the caffeine boost and some of the sugars there, so it's kind of like perhaps like counterbalance a little bit of of that like energy dip, like tiredness with the coffee. That's one reason why it's not a very it's not a good contrast to see how your body is reacting to it. But if you have a chance in the future, you can try it out again and really pay attention to see how your body reacts and feels after that meal of like with burger and fries. Okay, then I also want to ask you, since you deliberately made a list of the burger, fries, and the coffee, what made you decided that you had that list, that you have to do this? Like, because it's like, it's almost like you're very determined about this, that you need to do this.
Like your bucket list.
Exactly, right? So I'm curious to hear, like, what were some of your thought process there? Like,
I guess it was just a recent thing that I'm just hearing from folks. Like a week ago or so, I met up with my friend. I was like, oh, I wanted to have a burger. And they said, oh, why didn't we go to burger room to have a burger? And then that was like sort of the back of my mind. And then I told you the other day before, talk about burger with Frank, like on the same day or the day before, my coworker was talking about check and about the size and it was so good. And then this and that, it get into my head. It's sort of like when Frank talk about burger again, it's giving me like an affirmation. Cindy, you need to go get this burger out of your, because I keep hearing it. And that's the checklist. But it's also like, if you see my pattern for the past 3 weeks, I still continue to try experiencing with food, those that I always crave, I will always eat it constantly, right? But I'm trying out different variety of food that, if I would actually, if that's a food that is like always favorite on my list kind of thing, or things that can be removed, or I can have.
Then let me ask you,
thoughts.
Why is that food is your burger on your favorite list?
Recently, yes, since last year.
Oh, so it sounds like your favorite list deviates once in a while. Depends on a lot of different factors there, right?
So yes, so last year, so burger was never on my list. Like it's never a top selection for me if I go out for a meal, because burger to me is McDonald's. So McDonald's to me is fast food. It's really once in a while. I really want to have that Big Mac kind of feeling, but not my always like first choice. But last year when I went on a trip with my friend to London, burger is her favorite food. Like our trip to Europe, like we had more burgers than I ever had for a whole year. Like it's almost.
So here's what I'm hearing, Cindy. This is very interesting. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts around food. And I have to tell you this, you definitely practice here food culture. That's your strategy. I think it's pretty clear to me. What does everybody think?
I shouldn't listen to you guys talk.
Because it's not just us here, not just Frank mentioned about the burger you had it, because apparently your colleagues has been talking about it too. And also the other day, I think you said some other friends mentioned Shake Shack. You're like, ooh, yeah. All right, Cindy, we have some work here to do, because if we don't work on this, I'm afraid that that this like here food strategy would determine how you eat going forward. And I think we all want you to have a different way with your relationship with food. I mean, would you want a different relationship with your food?
Yeah.
Right. So I think there's some work we need to do here is like, first of all, just really ask yourself, like, okay, why am I so easily influenced by others? Like whenever they mention something, like I want to eat it, like what's going on here? Like, just don't worry about it. Like this is just the beginning. I don't expect you come up with like, the deepest, most like profound answer tonight. Not really expecting you to, but I just want you to be aware that this has been your strategy for however long you have. I don't know how long that is, but it definitely not a short period of time. This here food strategy that you have. And
it might
be what?
I mean, it might be seasonal favorite, but I have to think about what's my permanent favorite and then my seasonal from like influenced by others. and how that making onto the list, to the permanent list, right?
See, you just brought up another very good example here is your favorite list deviates, depends on seasons. Again, depends on other influence. So in psychology, we call this like cause and effect. And usually when something happened, there's a cause, and how this affect on you, like how is it reacting, how you react to the cause is that's the relationship here. So what I'm hearing from you is there are a lot of influences, a lot of causes going on here. Oh, whether like friends mention it, like people doing the same challenge with you mention something, and then special occasions, obviously, that's definitely got to be there, and seasons too. So all these different causes in there is affecting how you react your relationship with food. And I have to say that is not easy to live a life like that, because without understanding why you want to eat a certain way, but because you're reacting by all these different influences here, it's actually making it harder for you to have a stable relationship with food. Does it make sense to everybody here? Does it make sense to you, Cindy? Yeah, because it's almost like I'm not so clear about a decision. Like I'm not really clear about my goal here. And actually, no, let me put it the other way. Okay, I'll use a train journey as an example. I'm not really clear about my train destination, where I want to go, but I meet a lot of people on this train journey rides. Like people come off the train, and I talk to them, and they might influence me where I want to go, where I want to end up as a destination. And it's making you hard to decide where you want to go in the end. And I don't know if this analogy is making sense to you. Is the reason why I mention it is because if we're not really clear about how we feel with our food, we'll constantly be influenced by many things. And your peers is one good example here. So just start thinking about that. Like I said, this has been your strategy for a long time. And we're not expecting you to all of a sudden know how to get out of this or how to change this or how to come up with a different way overnight. This takes time, but at least I want you to start be aware of that. Okay? Yeah? All right, good stuff. Talking about McDonald's, thank you for sharing that video about McDonald's, the sizes versus US and UK. Does everybody have a chance to watch it, Cindy's video? Yeah, it's all right. So just take a look of it. It's quite interesting to see how McDonald's, even though they start in the US, but it's all over the world, and McDonald's very often localize their products in different parts of the world. And not only that, the video shows that McDonald's sizes also varies, depends on what countries. I mean, long story short, US has a lot of bigger sizes than the UK. Those were the two comparisons. But the reason why I brought it up is because I have a related story about McDonald's. So the story is what I'm about to tell you has changed how I feel about McDonald's foods. Like, I basically don't see McDonald's serve food at all. All right, here's what the story is. So apparently a man has bought a burger and left it in his coat pocket for 2 years. Like he just put it there and forgot about it. And then one day he took it out, and I mean, what would you expect a burger sitting there for 2 years? What would you expect what it looks like? Take a guess here. Shout it out.
It was exactly the same. Yeah.
What about you, Frank? What do you think?
It's exactly
It will totally gone. It's after 2 years, I think it's all dried up and maybe crumble.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Kim, have you heard of this story before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then skip, please. Skip. Okay, Cindy, what do you think?
Probably smelly and moldy.
Right. Okay. All right. So we have two people here think that the burger would not look like a burger anymore, right? And then we have one person, Reggie here, thinks that it looks the same. Guess what? Reggie was right. The burger looked exactly the same.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
And the only thing that has changed was the pickle has gone, but the bun and the meat, it still looks the same. That really shows how much preservatives this burger has. All right, this story is not done yet. Okay, apparently this man was so shocked to see the burger looks the same, he decided to continue the experiment. So he kept the burger on his shelf for another, guess how long? Another 14 years. Or I don't remember if this is in total 14 years, but at least 10 years. Guess what the burger looks like after that?
Wow.
Shout it out.
Still,
Yeah.
still the same.
Exactly. I'm gonna post a link of this story like as a comment under your story, so you can all see photos of it. And the person and the man proves that burger. He has a receipt that he kept it with the bag of the burger. It was like he bought it in 1999.
Wow.
So that just showed how much preservatives the burger has. It almost looks like one of those plastic food that you see is displayed sometimes. I mean, it's probably very close to that. It's not food, everybody. Like that just shows how how crazy that is, that story. So I mean, ever since I knew that, I'm like, I don't think I want to eat anything from McDonald's anymore, because if that food can be kept for so long, what would it do in my body? I mean, my body's probably take a lot of work to digest it, and even it digested, it's probably full of a lot of harmful substances anyway. I just cannot picture something like quote unquote food that can stand for that long. Like it's just like I cannot explain this. So that's what I wanted to share with all of you. Kim, any things that want to add in or share?
No, I only had a couple of housekeeping style things, so I don't know if you've got something more you want to talk about. But it was just
no, you can
just
go
to
ahead.
draw,
Yeah,
I just draw people's attention to the frequently asked questions for this week. That's another video, and yeah, if you haven't already watched it, the Dairy Delusion, and on that link, and that's on week 3 Friday that you've got the links for these. And also No Gain from Grain. Watch that one as well. That's another video that's in there. So yeah, it's your homework for the week.
Thank you. Are those are unlocked, right? Already ready to go?
Yeah. But weirdly, they don't come up on this week, but they show up on week 3 Friday. Other links to the underneath the video. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Anyone has any thoughts or any observations? Anything else to say? Actually, Sydney, I didn't get a chance to ask you. How was it today for you? It's like first day of the new enhancement then.
I cheated this morning.
Okay. Thanks for saying.
It's on top of my head that I need to drink that milk, and I didn't do it over the weekend. So just to get it off my head, I make a cup of smoothie, banana strawberries, so that I think it's something's wrong. Not something's wrong, but it's just it's something psychologically that, you know, like I don't want to get it to waste. So like sometimes would just do it, so it just get it off my system, so I don't keep thinking about something. I just stress over so little, like, oh, because I got the milk, I cannot drink it. So wasteful kind of thing.
Okay.
So I just drink it, and then I can now I get over it. Then I can give up on the yogurt and the milk. I can now throw it away.
Okay. So you already threw that away, is it?
But then I don't think I will touch it. But it's just more like psychological.
Yes, thanks for sharing that. And I want you to keep paying attention, since you said that those dairy products are still in your house. I'll be curious how you feel about it the next few days. So we'll ask you about it on Friday to see if you have like somehow went back to it, you miss it or whatnot. So, and we will address this later on more about the psychology of like not wanting to waste food.
I drink oat milk. Is that carbs?
Look,
Would
look
you
in
consider that?
look
Yeah.
in-
It's a grain.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a grain. It's
It's
come
a
out.
grain. So
Yeah.
So okay, so but almond milk is fine.
yes,
Unsweetened.
nut-based milks are okay. Unsweetened, that's right. Thank you, Kim.
if you look in the FAQ, Eric is managing a lot of those questions. It's about tofu and stuff like that. And then you will hear if most of it you can't have, and especially some of them you can't have right now in this week. And maybe a little bit later, like it was brown rice or something that you can't have now, but later on you can. But it's a lot of stuff.
I think today it was already first day struggle with no carbs. That like when I went to get lunch, and then my coworkers like, Cindy, are you gonna be full? Because like usually all Chinese food either it comes with noodle or comes with rice. You rarely just get like the meat, right? Unless it's family style, you order the dish with the rice, you have your own rice kind of thing. So I went off and ordered dim sum, like for like few selections, and then they were like they gave me a weird look because we took out and then we went back to eat in our office. And then but then all of a sudden they started to attack me. It's like, oh, because I'm gonna have to get off carbs. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, the shoe might have carbs in it. And I was like, damn, I cannot control everything I eat. But like out of that selection, that's the only best thing I can pick without like a side of carbs coming with it that I might tempt myself eating.
Right.
I definitely struggle on that one already, like for lunch selections. But for dinner, it's a lot harder because dinner I can control, and you know, like I would well, right now it's okay. I substitute my carbs with like salad, or I just go heavier on the protein side, so like I get the full filling. But I would see that carb thing is gonna be a huge struggle.
All right, thanks for sharing that. Let me address you a few points here. First of all, your food devil is manifesting into a different version now. So you mentioned that your colleagues are giving you a hard time. I'll tell you now that your food devil has transformed to your colleagues. The ones that's giving you a hard time and judging you, just I want you to be mindful that those are the food devils.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eric will address this later on in the program. Sorry?
But it's just not in my head. They're physically there.
Yes, and I want you to see that, to understand that. And okay, the second point Kim want to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can tell you something, Cindy. If you stay strong through this, when you get to the end of the challenge, all those friends are going to be looking at you and saying, wow, whatever you've been doing these last few weeks, that's really paid off. They will be envious of your strength at the end of it. And they'll be,
Yes, I agree with Kim 100%. And second, I want to tell you that your colleagues might be wrong about you not be able to have enough food for lunch without the carbs. Because if I can give you and your colleague the same amount of food, let's say you have the veggie and the meat, and your colleagues had veggie, meat, and the carbs, I would really like a comparison 3 hours later. Who would be the one who is more hungry? Yeah, I can tell you that your colleagues are not really on the right track there.
They give me a lot of pressure is because like if I ever, because I guess it's the crying wolf for me, because I always be on a diet or I try this thing out and they don't see me pass through, and they get frustrated too that I'm always saying it. So like whenever I say, oh, no carbs, they're like policing me that like, hey, you this and that. But sometimes like I know what they give, like at the same time I'm rebellious as well. Like, why are you telling me this? Like, right, I know more. Like I know, so you don't have to police me on certain things, and I get rebellious. So it's like an internal struggle. It has nothing to do with them, but it's like I'm internally struggle and try to be like ignoring them, which is bad in a way. I know they try to be good, but I just don't like being like policing, like, hey, you shouldn't eat that.
Because nobody likes to be told what to do. I certainly don't.
Yeah.
Especially
So-
not at the moment while you know you are trying to adhere to the rules of the program, which I'm very proud of you for doing that. And unfortunately, those are food devils out there. I'm telling you right now, that's what's happening, and it will continue. So that's why I'm mentioning to you now, so at least you are aware. And we'll work on more of the internal struggle later on too. But just be aware that that right now you have these strategies that with your food relationship, and we'll work on more new strategies for you going forward. But just be aware of this will happen and will continue, and we'll give you more ideas of what you can look into instead. So basically, for all of us going forward, if you have a chance to watch Eric's video today, Eric mentioned that we're slowly moving you to a different season called the spring season, which it's a little bit challenging for some of us. It's mostly because we're not trained to look for the food that we should be looking for. Instead, our focus right now is, oh my God, I can't have this, I cannot have that. Like, it's more like I cannot, blah, blah, blah. But we are not trained. We are trying to shift your focus into, oh, I can have this and I should be eating more of that. Focus on what you can have instead of focus on what you cannot have. It's a much better way to handle this period right now. So keep up with your observations, and give a shout on the Facebook group if you have any questions, and we'll talk more about strategies in the next call. All right, everybody?
Yeah.
All right, good work, everyone. So have a great week, and think about just keep thinking about the things that we talked about tonight and how we can come up with new strategies for everyone here. Okay? All right, have a good night. Talk to you on Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you Friday.
Bye.